Transforming sex energy. I do not teach you how to become master of your sexual energy. What I teach you is how to remain one, how not to be divided within, how not to be divided between the body, mind and soul, the matter, the lower, the higher, the sacred, the profane, this worldly and the otherworldly. Never divide. And when you divide, this is high, this is low, this is good, this is bad, then you will remain yoked to the particular thing. And this is what has happened with the sex energy. It is not that you acquired on your own. It is part of your being. It is in every cell of your being. Whether you deny it or not, it does not mean it is not there. So it is better to accept it. And acceptance is the first criteria of transcendence. Acceptance of its presence is the first criteria for transforming the sex energy. Never divide. Divided you cannot attain to harmony and integrity. The wall that you see in front of you is one piece. Is it divided? No. There is nothing higher and lower. If you really are intelligent, you will know without the lower, the higher cannot exist. Without the first block, without the foundation, the wall will not begin its journey. First the foundation is made. The stronger the foundation, the stronger the wall will be. And the foundation is not visible to you. Then one by one the blocks keep on coming up to create a wall. One block makes the way for the next. So each block of the wall is as relevant as anything else. Without the foundation, the first block that is visible to you cannot come into existence. It is meaningless. And then one by one the blocks are put on until this process continues. This process of putting on the blocks one by one continues until the wall reaches its ultimate. According to your building structure, when it reaches a certain height, the construction man says this is the height of the wall that we need. And when he checks, he may tell you that one more block is needed. One more row of the block is needed. When I say the blocks are put one by one, then a row is completed, then a second row and a third row, and so on and so forth, until the required height is attained. Then the second stage begins. Second stage is then you create the beam, because the roof has to stand on the beam, and the beam cannot exist without the wall. So in the scheme of the house, the foundation, the rows of the block that finally become the wall, then the beam, then the inner structure of the roofing, then the outer structure, all these are relevant. So what you can say, if you are intelligent enough, the lower part of the wall, that is the foundation, the first row of the blocks, this is the foundation for the next row. The foundation is the beginning of the first row of the blocks, and when the first row of the block is put, it becomes the beginning of the second row of the block. Unless the first row of the blocks is complete, the second row cannot begin, and until the second row is finished, the third row cannot begin. So lower is the beginning of the higher. Lower is the beginning of the higher, and higher is the culmination, the fruition of the lower. When lower attains to a particular height, a particular maturity, it becomes the culmination, the flowering happens. The beam cannot be put on until all the rows of the block is finished and the wall is complete. Then the beam is put on. Then the structure of the roof begins. So one gives way to the other. In the same way, the process of transformation of the sex energy begins. If you discard the lower, considering it to be profane, you cannot attain to the higher. And higher and lower are part of one synergistic harmony. But we have created division always, and once you are divided, you cannot attain to totality. This is the first criteria. Accept the totality not as higher and lower, sacred and profane, then you will create the division, and the division is disease. And with the disease you cannot attain to the health. And once you divide, you are in conflict, friction, then the joy disappears, then the blessing disappears, then you cannot attain to blissfulness, then life becomes an agony, a misery, and there is no victory possible. How can you be victorious over yourself? It is impossible. You cannot win. Discard the lower and attain to the higher. You cannot discard the body and attain to the nuances of the mind. You cannot discard the mind to attain the nuances. the blissfulness of the soul. That is why your monks, Mahatmas, Sadhus, and all these your so-called religious people look so sad, as if the sap of life they are deprived of the sap of life. There is no life, there is no energy. Their life is a life of futility. And what is fundamental? Where they have missed, they have divided themselves. They have divided themselves between the sacred and profane. They have divided between lower and higher. They have divided between body and the mind. I teach you undivided existence. This is the beginning of journeying into the higher realms of consciousness. Remain undivided. Never think yourself separate from your sexual energy. Anything for that matter. You are it. You are your sexual energy. You are your love energy. Remember this. You are your love energy. You are your consciousness. You are your body. You have many aspects. Your diamond has many aspects of it. And all those aspects together make you precious. But this idea has persisted down the ages, and particularly about the sex energy. It is so simply because sex has the greatest appeal. Hence the egoistic always finds it attractive to fight with it. If one can win over one's sex, then one is winner. And sex seems to be the greatest challenge to the egoist. Remember, it is not a challenge to the spiritualist. For the spiritualist, there is no challenge. For him, life is a let go, a relaxation, and a total acceptance. For the egoist, the life is always a challenge, a problem to be solved. Either the challenge has to come from the outside, or it has to come from inside. Either he has to climb the highest mountain top, because the highest mountain top, the Everest, is there like a challenge. So sex stands like the highest mountain peak. And when somebody stands unconquered, it hurts. No purpose is being served by reaching the highest mountain peak of Everest. Only one purpose, that man has conquered it, and in doing that, ego feels happy. So in conquering sex, which stands in front of you, and you have been told that it is the greatest challenge that one has to conquer, and when you has conquered this, everything will be good. But remember, what would you gain by conquering it? Or the egoist turn inwards. There are egoists whose journey is outward, and egoists whose journey is inwards. For inward egoists, the ego finds the greatest challenge in sexual energy, because the attraction is great. It is always there. It is immense and unconquerable. So they begin to fight with it. But fighting with it, you will simply destroying yourself. And all the beauty of the sexual energy too is lost. Then you are lost in the woods, never to find your way. Sexual energy has not to be conquered. Instead, It has to be used in a creative way. There is no fight, but there is a great treasure, and much is possible through it. In fact, all is possible through it. On different levels, it is the same energy that becomes love and prayer. You call the first row of the block that is underground by a different name. A man who is born without sexual energy will not be able to love, will not be able to feel compassion either. It is the ice that melts and becomes fluid like water, and it is the water, when it is put on to the fire, it evaporates and becomes steam. Steam is another form of water, and water is another form of ice. Clouds is another form of water, where the water vapors are condensed. So these are the various names and various forms of the same energy. On different levels, it is the same energy that becomes love and prayer. A man who is born without any sexual energy will not be able to love, will not be able to feel compassion either, will not be able to pray, because prayer is the highest form of sexual energy. It is the transformation, not sublimation, transformation of sexual energy. Compassion is the transformation of sexual energy. If you fight with sex, you will never be able to transform it into prayer. Fight never transforms anything. Through fight, you only destroy. And when you destroy your sexual energy, what are you destroying? Have you ever thought of it? You are destroying yourself. You are destroying your possibility of growth. You are destroying the possibility of transformation and transcendence. Transformation needs friendship. Be friended. It is your energy. It is you. Do not think in terms of master and slave. Use it as your potential. Raw energy it is. It can be refined. When you look at the process of the sugar, how the sugar comes. First, the cane is, the juice is extracted from cane. Then it is allowed to go through the complete process. Then first molasses comes. Molasses, when it is cleaned and it solidifies, it attains to another form, and then when it is refined, it attains to another form. These are the byproducts. Look at the natural gas. The gasoline, as it is extracted from the well, it goes through the process of transformation, and at each stage something new is formed. You seem to be very intelligent in knowing this. The petrochemical engineering teaches you all that. How to refine and each product name it by a different name. And each of these has a specific purpose. Use it as your potential. But when it comes to the existential bioenergy, you seem to be naive. You seem to be ignorant. Because you have been taught like this. You have been conditioned like this. It is raw energy. It can be refined. It can be sublimated. Then it can reach to the higher peaks that you have not even dreamt of. It can become finally your experience of samadhi. But never start with enmity. Be friend. persuade, observe, try to understand it. What it is, its attraction, its joys, its exhilarations, the small momentary ecstasies that becomes possible through it. Be aware of all these small joys. What exactly happens when you make love? For a moment time disappears, and that timeless moment gives you immense joy. The timeless moment when you disappear not knowing what had happened to you gives you immense joy. That is the first glimpse of the ultimate. Sex is not your enemy. Instead, it is the window to God. Of course, it opens and closes. All that you see is lost, but that is no reason to be angry with it. It is through it that you become aware that something beyond the mundane is there, and the beyond is possible. Even if it was a momentary glimpse, when you were lost completely and ego was no more functioning, the two bodies, the two energies, two minds melt into one another to become a higher mind, to become a higher body, to become a higher energy. You were expanded. Those moments of sexual orgasm were the first glimpse, and it is those glimpses that gave the seers, the masters, the first glimpse of the ultimate. It is in the dawn that you glimpse the glory of the day. It is the first ray of the sun that gives you the glimpse of the entire glory of the sun. If you discard the first ray, how can you experience the glory of the sunlight? How can you experience the glory of the moonlight if the first glimpse is discarded? Those moments of sexual orgasm are like the first glimpse of the sun ray, first experience of the moonlight. And this experience in the spiritual terms is called sakuni. Those moments of disappearance while making love are the moments of sexual orgasm and give you the first glimpses. They are crude, primitive, rudimentary of God experience. They are crude, primitive and rudimentary experiences of God. I cannot tell you how to master the sexual energy. There is no way to master it. And those who have tried to master it, those who have tried to conquer it, have failed. In mastering it, you can destroy it, and in destroying, you will be destroying yourself and nobody else. You will be destroying your possibility of growth. You will be destroying the possibility of transcendence. Once your sexual energy is destroyed, you will become juiceless, your life will be dry, and your life will be a desert. Then no more roses, no more lotuses, then you are no more an oasis. You will live a kind of death. You will carry your grave around yourself. Masters have emphasized on transforming this energy. Sufis have not initiated generally the people until they were married. And when they were married, the couple were initiated together. Go into it totally, Look meditatively. Listen to its message. Be very silent. Sex is sacred. When you enter into it, you are entering the greatest temple that is there. You are on the holy ground. Put all your mind and worries away. Go dancing with joy, with prayer, with gratitude, without any distractions. When a particular moment in the journey of sex comes, do not get distracted. Go dancing with joy, with prayer, with gratitude, and you will come out of it renewed, rejuvenated, reoriented, with fresh vision, insights, intuitions, and you will attain to transformation of this energy. This is the very purpose of the temples of Ajanta and Ellora, the Khajuraho temples, where there are hundreds of erotics. Different sexual postures are shown, and these were created by the masters, the sages. What was the purpose behind it? If that purpose is really understood not as a piece of sculpture, the piece of sculpture is used as a device to transform beyond the sex energy, not to sublimate it, not to reject it, not to discard it. It is while traversing through the temple walls, through the erotics in different sexual postures, when you go through this, remember you are not to be distracted by it. Your purpose is to walk through the admiring each and every sculpture, not remaining entangled in them. Admiring is a different thing. You admire, you proceed to the next stage. If there is a purpose, when you are refining the crude oil, every stage when something comes out, you enjoy it and put it for a separate use, and then your research, your process of refining continues. You have to refine the sex energy until it reaches to the premium quality. The premium quality of gasoline is of the highest value. It fetches highest price. But in order to do that, you have to refine it. And when it is finally refined, it becomes precious. When the diamond is first extracted from the mine, it is in crude form. It cannot fetch the price. It is polished, it is cut into shape, it undergoes a complete process of transformation, and then it becomes most precious jewel to adorn the crowns, to adorn the jewelry or anything. It becomes an expensive ornament. Your sex energy can become a precious ornament, a diamond, once you know the art of refining. So when you are traversing through the temples of Khajuraho, it is like a remembrance, a replica that man faces when he walks, he traverses through the life's journey, life's roads. Everywhere there is attraction of this and that, and the combined total name of this is known as Kam Vasana, the desire. This is natural. But when it reaches to the mind level, it becomes lust. There is a difference between the sex energy and lust. Sex energy is natural and spontaneous, and lust is man-made. It is a creation of the mind. Be aware of this. When you see the erotics, you can see it, an energy and art work of creation, a piece of art, a sculpture. It will inspire your creative instincts. It will activate your creative instincts. But when it becomes lust, it will destroy you. You enjoy the creativity of these artists. And when you continuing your journey in the inner temple of the Khajuraho, there is no sculpture, there is just emptiness. You have walked through, you enjoying the moments of creativity that you experienced without any stain on your consciousness, any trace of lust. You your consciousness attains its crystal clarity. That is the moment of emptiness. When you attain to this, entire energy, the existential bioenergy is transformed. You are rejuvenated, you are renewed, reoriented. You are reoriented with fresh visions, insights, and intuitions. You have transformed, and this process of transformation comes through understanding first and then transforming. That very understanding transforms the existential bioenergy. Only this much for this morning on this topic.
Okay, tantric massage is not about stimulating someone's energy.
Il massaggio tantrico non è stimolare l'energia sessuale di qualcuno,
to allow the flow of energy in the body.
ma serve a consentire il fluire libero dell'energia nel corpo.
Especially if you use tantric massage and sound together, it's a lot more powerful.
È molto più potente se al massaggio viene abbinato l'uso del suono.
Sound not while you're massaging, sound after you massage.
Non suono mentre si massaggia, ma subito dopo.
It's a very meditative process.
È un processo meditativo.
So it's good when you're doing sensual massage or tantric massage. You have, when you use incense, make sure it's natural incense.
Fate attenzione se utilizzate l'incenso che sia incenso naturale.
If you have music, it's got to be so low.
Se ascoltate musica che sia musica tranquilla.
Basically, you do not want to interfere in the person's journey. Anything that, any noise, any disturbance will disturb the person's journey.
Qualunque rumore, qualunque suono, anche la musica troppo a volume, troppo forte, disturba il viaggio della persona.
When you massage someone sensually, it has to be on a mattress, on the floor.
Bisogna che il massaggio
No,
avvenga sul pavimento,
massage table.
non sul tavolo. Non su un tavolo da massaggio, ma un materassino sul pavimento.
And you have to be connected to the person all the time.
E bisogna che la connessione tra voi e la persona massaggiata sia costante.
The beauty of tantric massage is first you take the person like a child.
La bellezza del massaggio tantrico è che prima di tutto si prende la persona come un bambino.
So when you're massaging the person, he's like a beautiful, or she's like a beautiful child.
È come se la persona fosse un bel bambino.
Lie down with your head here. Okay. See this? This is how you start. When you start like this, the head being on your second chakra makes the head heavy.
Quindi è così la posizione per iniziare
In a
è
light
questa,
way.
la testa
And
nel
then they
secondo
go
chakra.
into a deep stage very fast.
E questo consente di arrivare a uno stato di profondità molto rapidamente.
This way, they start going into a deep stage very fast. And then you start always with the head.
E si comincia sempre dalla testa.
You see, when I move the head, I don't move down.
Non muoviamo la testa bruscamente.
Very gentle.
Molto
You move the head.
delicatamente.
And then when you start here.
E si comincia in questo punto.
You do it very softly.
Molto delicatamente.
Okay? And then you go down.
Poi si scende.
Make sure that when you're massaging, you massage every inch. You don't let go any part.
Fate attenzione a non trascurare nessuna parte del corpo, nessuna
You can't be
porzione.
careless. You got to be relaxed and you got to enjoy sharing love. So you're careful. And then you take the second part. Now you've gone here. You take the second part and you cover the second part.
You cover the second part.
You.
Coprite la seconda parte. What do you mean by cover?
The first part you've done, you do the second part without overlapping a bit.
Quindi poi passate alla parte successiva senza una sovrapposizione, diciamo, scorrete.
And then you go down.
E poi scendete.
Always you go down, you finish the whole skull and you go to the spine where the spine starts.
Quindi fate tutta la testa e poi raggiungete il punto in cui comincia la colonna vertebrale.
Okay? You go until where the spine starts.
Continuate fino al punto in cui comincia la colonna
So
vertebrale.
once you have covered this part of the head,
Quando avete completato questo lato della
it's
testa,
all making love, okay?
si tratta di condividere
You gotta
amore.
be careful how you move,
Attenzione a come vi
and
muovete.
then you do the ears.
E poi passate all'orecchio,
Very softly.
molto delicatamente.
Basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to activate the energy in the person rather than massage the person.
State cercando di attivare l'energia
Like they
della
do Swedish
persona.
massage, where they put a lot of pressure.
Quindi non è un massaggio in cui si esercita pressione.
Remember yesterday I taught you how to touch?
Ricordate ieri quando ho parlato di come
Like
si
a
tocca,
feather?
come una piuma,
And you do that.
con lo stesso tocco leggero.
And then, when you want to turn the person, you turn them very gently.
E quando dovete girare la persona, spostare la testa, lo fate molto molto
Because
delicatamente.
remember that the person has already gone into a deep stage.
Ricordatevi che la persona è già
Sì.
entrata in uno stato meditativo, in uno stato...
Any disturbance in the movement, they become conscious again.
Qualunque movimento brusco,
You
qualunque
don't want them to be
interferenza
conscious.
può interrompere questo stato, riportarla a uno stato di consapevolezza, di...
Like she is very relaxed. You see the eyes? It's not moving.
è molto rilassata in questo
If you
momento.
want to find someone whether they're relaxed or not, watch the eyes. Now that I'm talking, she moves a bit.
Sì,
But you always see the eyeball moving.
per rendervi conto di se una persona è effettivamente rilassata, osservate gli occhi, anche se sono chiusi si può notare un leggerissimo movimento e allora non è del tutto rilassata.
It's making love. It's not about massaging.
Si tratta di
In
fare
the
l'amore, non
normal sense.
massaggiare.
I mean, it is massage, but it's not like the normal sense of massage where you go.
Non è il massaggio con una maggiore
Because
pressione.
your skin has senses.
La pelle è dotata della capacità di sentire.
Your muscles become tense when the nerves become tense.
Se i nervi si tendono, anche i muscoli si tendono, si contraggono.
The nerve reacts to tenderness.
Le terminazioni nervose
Soothing
reagiscono piacevolmente, positivamente alla tenerezza,
It doesn't react to this.
mentre reagiscono in maniera negativa
It actually
alla
becomes,
pressione, allo
the
sfregamento.
nerves become like this. That is why with a lot of deep tissue massage, they have to break the muscles being tense. They don't, but then within a week, it tense again.
Per questo motivo quando si esercitano invece massaggi profondi, con una pressione profonda, bisogna proprio rompere quasi i tessuti, le resistenze dei tessuti e poi si
If you do
ripeteranno.
tenderness,
E poi dopo poco in realtà si contrarranno di nuovo.
remember that
Si ritorna
everything
il
you
massaggio,
do,
perché
everything you do, if you do in tenderness, you go very far. It's beautiful.
se
You, as a therapist, enjoy it, and the receiver, the giver and the receiver both enjoy it. But the receiver receives first.
qualunque cosa facciate, fatela con una dolcezza e questo vi consentirà di andare molto più in profondità.
So
Tanto
the giver receives first.
tanto voi quanto il ricevente. E ricordatevi che in realtà è colui che dà che riceve per primo.
So you as a therapist or the lover is the first recipient.
Quindi come terapisti o come amanti siete voi i primi a ricevere.
All our practice, all tantric practice, the person who gives the treatment or love making, the giver is the first recipient, and the receiver is the second recipient.
In tutte le pratiche tantriche ricordate che chi dà riceve per primo.
So those of you who have a partner and you make love to the partner, you enjoy it first.
Quindi se avete un partner e fate l'amore con il partner, siete voi i primi a goderne.
And then your partner may enjoy it. I mean, the partner will enjoy it.
Forse
But
anche il vostro partner poi.
it's the second reaction.
ma è il secondo effetto. No?
Because when you want to do this, you go deep inside you.
Perché questo movimento dolce che praticate va in profondità di voi stessi.
Because your intention is what comes first.
È la vostra stessa intensità che precede ogni altra cosa.
Your intention is what
È la vostra
that
intenzione.
comes first.
L'intenzione prima di tutto.
Okay, this is sensual massage. And then you go up to where your hands can do. Like, for instance, then I take a hand. Where I put the hands? I put the hands on my lingam.
Metto le
Not
mani.
in my lingam, but where my lingam is. So she's connected to me sensually. Not sexually, but sensually. Remember that the sexual and sensual. Your lingam is not, or yoni is not a sex machine.
Quindi ricordate la differenza tra sensuale e sessuale.
It's a very highly divine space.
Le lingam o le ioni non sono macchine del sesso, ma sono un punto, una zona divina.
It is human weakness that made sex become a religion back now.
È la debolezza dell'essere umano che ha reso il sesso quasi una religione.
The religion of modern age is sex.
La religione dell'era moderna è il sesso.
Including, they make tantra a sexual practice, that is sex practice rather than meditation, like what you learn here. What you learn here is genuine tantra.
Compresa la riduzione del tantra a pratiche sessuali. Invece il maestro insegna il vero tantra genuino.
So you are treating this person like a divine child.
Quindi trattate la persona
Now, if you look at my hand movement, first thing is this: don't go and do this.
Non massaggiate i capezzoli, non massaggiate le
You
zone
don't want to stimulate
erogene.
the erotic parts of their body.
Non volete stimolare le parti erotiche.
Okay, like the nipples, the yoni, you don't touch.
Non toccate la ioni. non
Even when you
toccate
touch the
i capezzoli.
yoni, you go like this. Say this is the yoni, you go this way.
Se toccate il seno, toccate la
So,
zona
you
intorno.
are not going that you're just going over it to give it that nice energy that you like a dome energy. Okay? So always be careful that don't make this become a sexual thing.
Quindi fate attenzione a non rendere il massaggio qualcosa di sessuale. Non è
Because slowly you want to cultivate a culture, a new culture in you, where sex becomes less important, but love making becomes more important.
Volete in realtà coltivare lentamente, progressivamente in voi una nuova cultura.
You see,
Il
I'm
sesso
making
è
love
più
to his
importante
wife.
dell'amore.
And I'm not guilty making love to his wife.
Maestro
And
sta
he enjoys
facendo-
watching me making love to his wife.
Il maestro sta facendo
You
l'amore
understand?
con la moglie di Michele, Michele lo guarda, ma è molto naturale,
Because it's not sexual.
non c'è un'intenzione sessuale,
It's not vulgar.
non c'è volgarità,
It's a divine honoring. Like now it's like me worshipping her.
è un'adorazione divina.
And when I see her like this, I have done a good job. I've not even started. I'm just on there.
Quando la vedo così mi rendo conto di aver fatto un
Imagine
buon
how
lavoro.
powerful this can be.
E non ho nemmeno cominciato, in realtà ho fatto solo la testa.
The other thing when you're doing this work, you have to make sure that you're always in contact.
E l'altra cosa importante è stare attenti a non perdere mai la connessione.
Which a lot of massage therapists doing, massage forget.
Molti
Because they never
terapisti
thought that.
dimenticano questo aspetto,
When
perdono il
you're walking
contatto.
around a table, you always disconnecting with the person and connecting, disconnecting, connecting.
Se vi muovete intorno a un tavolo, per esempio, la persona che si sposta su un tavolo, perdete continuamente la connessione, poi la ritrovate e la riperdete.
So the person, whenever you disconnect and you connect again, the mood changes.
Ogni volta che perdete il contatto e poi lo ritrovate, c'è un cambiamento di stato, di condizione.
Now this person is in an alpha stage.
In questo momento la persona
You
tiziana è
want
allo
to
stato
keep
alfa
her in the alpha stage until you finish.
In realtà volete mantenerla in questo stato alfa fino alla fine del massaggio.
If you want to be a great lover, first rule, you learn how to make sure that your legs are very flexible.
Se volete essere buoni amanti dovete
Because I'll show you the next move that is very, very important.
a rendere flessibili le vostre gambe.
Like when I want to now I want to take her out of here because I need to go there.
Quindi adesso vuole spostare Tiziana,
Then I have to pick her head
la
slowly,
testa, delicatamente,
move my leg out very slowly,
muove delicatamente la gamba,
okay? And then move this up, even it's difficult. And then you hold her in the position for a while. Always have a pillow that you can put,
poi la trattenete
Under the
ancora nella
head, so
stessa
that-
posizione,
not very high pillow, just a low pillow so that. And then you keep,
con un cuscino sottilissimo.
if you do disturb like this, now I did with this leg, then you keep connected back. With this connected to the head, so you take her deep again, and then you move out and go.
Mantenete la connessione con la testa e poi la spostate.
And then you look at her eyes and see whether she is back into the deep state or not.
Controllate gli occhi per vedere se la persona ha mantenuto lo stato meditativo o l'ha ritrovato.
This is the fundamental thing.
E questo è un elemento fondamentale.
The rest of it I'll show you, and then we will practice together.
Il resto lo mostrerà adesso.
That wouldn't be
poi-
on video, so you can turn the video. Thank you. How was it?
Il resto lo mostrerà adesso.